Buy granite! Correct granite there.
Shakara lo Jenny. Shakara lo Jenny. Shakara lo Jenny. Shakara lo Jenny.
Kasala Zaaky Azzay, Kasala Zaaky Azzay. Kasala Zaaky Azzay.
That's really.
I have decided to follow Jesus.
I don't find a young swordedy boy, no. Swordedy. I don't find a young and I can't, but I don't find a song again.
I think the food is ready. This food will serve everybody.
Of national progress. You chop alone, die alone.
I think one of the things that went very well for me was that people discovered that it just had to do with my principles as a person. It had nothing to do with how I related with you. And that most of the time, if I asked somebody not to do something, it would always be in your own personal interest. Once they understood it, all those misgivings against me. So that is the first one. Then the second one is, the way that we interact with Nigerians. And I stopped it anywhere I am working. I stopped people collecting money for services. I stopped it to the extent that when people come to those areas, they will say, oh, they don't know that civil servants work like that. And this is work that sometimes we'll stay in the office till late in the night, till 2 a.m. We learned to work, for the love of pleasing our bosses, for the love of meeting any objective that was given to us. And we learned to love our work, not because of what it will generate. And if you look at my records, you will see the kind of places I have worked. They have sent me to places where you needed to meet deadlines for government, and there was no money there. And I wrote a lot about my experiences in Cabinet Affairs Office. Anybody that knows about the civil service knows that that is the hardest, it's the toughest place you can work. But I worked there, and I got national honor.
Wow.
Yes. So that's the place people run away from. That's the place I worked. I was given land in this city.
Wow.
By government. I was given land in Guzape, and I was given land in Kagini by government.
In other words, it actually pays to do the right thing.
Yes. Yes. And these are land that if I would have had, if I was working in all those places where they make money, you will not make the money, you go and use it and buy for millions and millions. You pay so much. The land they gave me in Guzape here, if there's no way, even up to now, retirement, I cannot pay for that land. I cannot buy it.
And that is what you got from
merit? That is what I got
from
merit, from working. It was given to me. So, those that say there's no money to national honor, they don't know there are so many things that government can give you when you get national honor. The FCT wrote me a letter about naming a street after me.
Wow.
Yes. So it has not been done yet, but
we are happy to hear that.
Yes, with time, you might pass a street and it will have my name on it. So these are the things. But there are some people that laugh at people like me. They say, somebody actually told me that I was going to leave the service without money.
Poor woman.
But I'm so fulfilled. I don't have any corruption case against me. I am not being investigated. These are the things that are so common in the service. And I am living untainted, without a blemish. I am living with my reputation intact, and institutions asking me to come and lecture, which is what I love doing anyway. So I have people asking me to come and join Their consultancies, I mean, how good can you get? So my retirement is going to be even sweeter. The issue of corruption is you need to keep teaching the officers to love the work, to develop a relationship with the work. You know, this satisfaction inside them that a work has been well done and that they please their bosses. And then those of us who are in the system, we have also spoken about a lot of things that must happen in the system for you to have the class of civil servants that can look at whatever it is they call it and say no and turn around like professionals. What do you need to do? Because you cannot keep fish in front of a rat and tell the rat to turn away. There is something you must do, and that is what some of them have come by way of reforms, which is making processes to be ICT driven. So that has taken care of a lot of money and changing hands in the system. Fees, licenses, all payments to government, none of them is made manually now. So government revenue goes directly to the treasury single account. Now, coming to the other one, is the need to train officers, continue training them so that they can have the right attitude. Their offices can be, well equipped and resourced. They have the materials to work with, and the office environment can be appealing and conducive for work. Then the third one is the issue of the remuneration of civil servants. The people at their counterparts at the parastatals are earning far more than them. And we are saying this is wrong. How can you be paying civil servants supervised parastatals? Parastatals are earning like 3 times what civil servants are earning. So it's not right. It's not done anywhere.
You think that is one of the major things that will checkmate corruption?
Yes. The civil servant of today is better paid than the civil servant of yesterday, but the value of that money is not really much. What it can fetch, because in the past years, I was there when we were paid. What we were paid was so low. We had government cars, we had staff vehicles, we had government quarters. We were living in government quarters furnished by government. Even people had their bills in those houses picked up by government. So all these things have been withdrawn under the monetization scheme. You have left civil servants now to be scrambling. They will scramble for rent. And you know what Abuja rent is. Ask yourself, this money that is paid, this salary that is paid, can it pay rent around this city? And we have officers who are living in houses where they are paying rent.
And then you now expect them not to be corrupt.
Yes. They send their children to private schools. So how are they going to fund all this? Meanwhile, their colleagues in the parastatals are doing all these things without problem. When I joined the civil service, the federal civil servants had the first right of admission. Their children had the first right of admission into federal government colleges. All of them I knew then, all their children were in federal government colleges. Now there is no such privilege. There's no such privilege. So they need, if you want to truly fight corruption in the civil service, you have to start with the staff who are working there. Give them a modicum of comfort from that job. Everybody is driving a car. Have you tried to find out how they acquire cars? I joined the federal civil service as a grade level 8 officer. My salary was 500 naira a month. From that salary, I was entitled to a brand new Volkswagen Beetle car, which from that salary you could service it for 4 years and you finish paying.
Wow.
Now, if you waited for 2 years, you could get a brand new Jera car. So these were all programmed. Once you come into the service, you apply for your car loan. Then, if you still have the strength, you apply for your housing loan.
But is it not possible to go back to that kind of arrangement?
Well, that
now?
is what we are saying. Because if you get which car is the cheapest car in this country now? You say civil servants should take a car loan to pay for it. From which salary? From which salary? This salary, can you make a demand on it to pay for car loan or to pay for housing loan? So they have to take it from the system. So these are things happening that people will just close our eyes, and it is not right. We've been saying it. The heads of service have been saying it. All the reforms that they approve for implementation, they all have an element of it that says you must look at the remuneration and the benefits of civil servants, because all these things were built in their package before, and that time corruption was not the issue.
So if they are monetizing it, why didn't they monetize everything and put it in their salary in a way that the salary will now be bigger? Because if you have back car loans, housing loans
Yes.
before and all that, I am thinking that by the time they monetize it, the salary will be very reasonable. So it means somebody is doing something wrong somewhere.
Well, I think it's part of it is hypocrisy. It's hypocrisy in the sense that you know what the situation is, you don't want to confront it. And then the fact that they have bloated the size of the service so much. It's been so bloated that it is not possible for the federal government to even take on additional responsibilities concerning benefits. Once they do it, they'll probably just be paying salaries and nothing else will happen. So, and the situation now is so crazy in the country that nobody will advise government to retrench.
Amend the Marriage Act to meet citizens' need. What do you mean by that?
Well, the Marriage Act that we are presently using was enacted in 1914, and since 1914 it has not been amended, so it is really very, very archaic. It doesn't even contain the terminologies we use for defining the components of this country. For instance, it still talks about districts instead of local government areas. And then there are so many loopholes we have seen. It fits the system of administration during colonial rule, and not the system of administration we have now. Because of it, it has led to serious conflict between the Ministry of Interior and the local government that are running marriage registries. Now, I don't know, for some reason how they put it in their head that the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria also empowers local government areas to conduct marriages, statutory marriages. Meanwhile, the formation of statutory marriage in the Constitution is in the exclusive legislative list. And you know that any matter that you find in the exclusive legislative list can only be implemented at the federal level. In this case, statutory marriage is under the mandate of the Ministry of Interior. But local government areas that had formerly in the past been collecting their marriage certificates from Ministry of Interior, some about a decade ago, now some of them now broke up out and started printing their own certificates and issuing to people. So
I thought that has always been the norm.
no,
I don't.
no, no.
Because
The Constitution, the Marriage Act provides that only the principal registrar of marriages can print marriage certificates, and
okay,
every
so if
other.
the local government, so what if you are getting married in the local government? What happens?
Well, well, as the courts have held over and over again, the certificates they are holding, they are not in compliance with the Act. They are not
So,
statutory marriage certificates.
so
That is
is
just
it
the.
that the federal they will be sending the certificates to them from the center, or
They are to collect their booklets of marriage certificates from the principal registrar of marriages, and the principal registrar of marriages is domiciled in the Ministry of Interior. That is where they license. They will license you. If they are licensed to conduct statutory marriage, what goes with your license are those booklets. So if you are not licensed, you are not going to be given. And the local governments do not want to come under the Ministry of Interior to get licensed. It is just like a driving license. It's only road safety that issues it. So
okay.
VIO does not issue a driving license. But these people now went and started their own, printing their own, charging people, collecting, and then when these people go to embassies, they reject the certificate. Some of them want to use the certificate to do one thing or the other, and they run into a brick wall, and they will now turn and come and start blaming the ministry. It's not the ministry's fault. The statutory marriage is under exclusive legislative list. So what we need, or what we are saying, is that the Marriage Act should be, it should go through a process of legislative scrutiny and amendment, so that if there are any duplications or any gray areas leading to this misinterpretation of roles, they should be clearly touched up, so that everybody will be clear about which role this agency or that organ of government is to play. So one of the things I did as a permanent secretary, Ministry of Interior, also doubling as principal registrar of marriages in Nigeria, was to hold stakeholder meetings across the country to explain to our stakeholders that there is need for harmonious implementation of the Marriage Act for the benefit of Nigerians. Because it doesn't make sense for somebody to marry, collect a certificate from an organ of government, and after 20 years, the person is told that that certificate is just a piece of paper. It should be a certificate that should serve.
Is that what will happen for people who have done that eventually?
Well, if you go to an
Because
embassy,
I might just be one of the.
you better go and take your own from the Federal Marriage Registry. That is just how to be very, very sure. That, like the question, the inquiry I told you I answered in the morning, people are calling in to find out about their certificates, because it's, you know, what is happening now is that we have 774 local governments in Nigeria, and they are all setting up marriage registries, and each of them, they are printing certificates. So there is no way that these are the people that need to verify these certificates can verify them. I think if you have 774 marriage certificates, or what they call amalgamated marriage certificates, issued by different registries, and there is no data center for verifying those certificates, then it doesn't serve this country well. It's one of the reasons why Nigeria stopped, where the Nigeria came under sanction by the
But who is
United
responsible
States.
for providing the data?
It's the Ministry of Interior.
But have you provided?
Yes, we have the data of all marriages conducted using the Form E.
Okay.
Form E, which is the statutory marriage certificate, all over this country since we have complete digitized form since 1946 to date, from 1946 to date. If you want to find out about any marriage, you just send a photocopy and go.
And
into
any
the
marriage
system.
that is not recorded there is null and void.
We cannot declare it null and void. It depends on what you want to use it for, the information for. If, for instance, if you go to an embassy and the embassy says we don't recognize this, well, that's a loss for you. And then you go to the court and you have a claim to make based on the statutory that you are married under the law, and they check and your certificate is bearing one other thing, that is not from E, then if whatever right you're seeking, you may not get it.
I've never seen civil servants celebrate their own like that. Everybody, even the security man, messenger, everybody was shouting, "Sweet mother!" She's indeed a mother, obviously. That is why we would be very considerate with what we will give as our tax on Nigerians. We won't tell you now, but when we come back, we will tell you what her tax will be. True Nigerians, heroes of our time. I told you that she would perform her tax. As you can see from the light, it's a bit late, so we could not take her out to ride an ice cream bicycle, which is what we wanted her to do. But now she has agreed that she will do break dance for us, which is what we're about to do as her tax on True Nigerians. I'm supposed to leave the set for her to do break dance, but I would put her through a bit before we now give her the floor to do break dance. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Start like this. Okay. Your hands straight, your head. And then. Your head now. Turn your head, then your body. Your head straight. Yes. It's your head, then this way again. Your head, turn. Then, hey. Your legs are not popping.
It's a popping. Oh my goodness. I think you have to look for another task for me.
Okay.
You just teach me.
Okay. This one. This one is vigorous. Can you do like this?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. You're getting it. Okay. All right. I'll sing the breakdance songs in those days. Okay. There's no stopping.
No stopping.
No one does it better.
No one does it better.
No stopping us.
No stopping.
No one does it better. There's no stopping you.
No stopping.
No one does. Hey, I even beating me to it. See.
Hey, that's the time of disco.
See, you can't beat me. I won't allow you beat me. There's no stopping us. No stopping. No one does it better. There's no stopping us.
No stopping.
No
one does it better.
Hey.
Oh yeah.
Well done. High five.
Thank
wow.
you.
That was fantastic. You shocked me. I'm surprised. Hey. One would have thought, that is only book. I didn't know you can even...
I live fully.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Thank you.
I'm surprised with the dance. Okay, it's been True Nigerians, heroes of our time, and we've had fun even with the dance. She has really overperformed her task. I didn't know she could dance like this. I'm surprised. It means she's successful all around. She knows what's up. Okay, our guest on the program has been Barrister Goergina Ehuria-Arisa, who just retired after 36 years in civil service and retired as permanent secretary with the Ministry of Interior, and also the author of this book on merit. This is a living proof that by merit you can achieve. This is a living proof. We're so happy to be here. This book will soon be on the shelf. Get your copy if you also want to attain that height. In any career that you find yourself, don't cut corners. Work hard. On merit, you will achieve it. Thank you very much for your contributions to the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you.
We're so proud of you. We pray that God will bless you
Amen.
and produce even more people like this for the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you so much, ma.